going to change for your strategy, regardless of moderator, format, mic? What's your strategy? Are you using anybody different to get you ready? And after studying and dueling with Joe Biden once already, what have you learned? What's going to change? You going to interrupt less?
Joe lies, and he lies a lot. And he'll say things that are crazy. And he'll think people are supposed to believe him. And they take ads, and they put ads in on things that never happened. Far worse than Hillary. Hillary was a much smarter person than him, but they play a much dirtier game. And she was dirty. Look, I mean, with the emails and everything else, I'm not talking about that. I mean, she was terrible.
So will you take some of your time and correct her, Mr. President?
They play a more dishonest game. They will put an ad in about something that never happened and pretend like it happened.
Will you take some of your time?
Very dirty players.
Will you take some of your time and answer the previous question like Mike Pence did, and then answer their question?
Well, look, I do my own debating. I do fine, and I do my own debating, and a lot of people said I won. If you look at the Hispanic, very interesting, they did a Hispanic population poll, and I was at 77%. And a lot of people thought, look, when somebody stands there and he lies, I like to challenge it at the time, because you don't have time to go back.
Mr. President, just to follow up on what Brian's asking, though, after that first debate, there are many who suggested if you just let Joe Biden share his ideas, America might not be too keen on those ideas. In fact, Ari Fleischer last night on Hannity said the president should interrupt less. Will you change your strategy in this last debate from your first debate?
Well, I may do that. Actually, the interesting thing, they said if you let him talk, he'll lose his chain of thought because he's gonzo. And I understand that. But I also understand that as he's going down the line and issuing lies, generally it's okay to, really attack that. But there is a chain of thought that, there are a lot of people that say let him talk because he loses his train. He loses his train. He loses his mind, frankly. But look at yesterday. He walks out of a store, and the media's standing there, and they asked him, what flavor ice cream did you get? I mean, think of this.
I know.
They never asked me a question like that.
So that was just 2 minutes from Donald Trump's unhinged interview on Fox and Friends this morning. I got another clip for you in a little bit. But suffice it to say there, Donald Trump is ignoring the advice of the Fox and Friends crew because they know that first debate with Chris Wallace, he lost. He looked awful, and he lost. And most Americans agreed with them in that general assertion. And they're trying to gently remind Trump, saying, sir, are you going to change things up in the next debate? Are you going to be a little bit nicer, a little bit calmer? Are you going to interrupt less? They also seem to hint that, Mike Pence did a little bit better than you did. Maybe you don't think Pence won, but he didn't do quite as disastrously. And maybe Trump could take an example there. And he just basically rejects that, saying, I thought I won. A lot of people thought I won. I think I did great. The debates are rigged anyway. And actually, maybe I will let Joe Biden speak more and I'll interrupt less, but only because he's crazy, senile Joe Biden, who's gonzo, losing his mind, and will go off on random trains of thought if I let him speak and sort of, give him the rope to take care of himself. But again, that's total projection because yes, Biden has at times, less in the debates, but more in some of his press conferences, gone off track and sort of lost his train of thought. That has happened. But Donald Trump is doing that in this clip as he goes from, debate strategy to attacking the commission and the moderators to attacking Joe Biden's mental fitness all in 2 minutes without really reckoning with the question, did your strategy actually serve to help you? And he didn't really answer that. And he didn't really stop to think, hey, maybe these people on Fox News that want me to win are giving me advice that I should hear and absorb if I want to win. But this wasn't the only clip. Later on in this interview, he basically attacks not only the debate commission, but also Chris Wallace and Welker, the next upcoming debate moderator, as well as Savannah Guthrie, who he was on an MSNBC, NBC town hall, just last week.
President, the commission has changed the debate rules for this last debate in 2 days. They have implemented a 2-minute uninterrupted rule. So they're going to have basically a mute button. They're going to mute your microphone while Joe Biden answers for the first 2 minutes and then mute his when you answer for the next 2 minutes. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the whole thing is crazy. This commission, I had problems with them 4 years ago where they stifled out my mic during my conversation with Crooked Hillary. And, they muted my mic. They did a whole thing. They did this to me already. They modulated it at the time. And they actually had to write me a letter of apology. And they did it on purpose. Look, these people are not good people, this commission. A lot of funny things go on with them. And frankly, Kristen Welker, who I know, and, I just went through Savannah Guthrie. I knew what I was getting into, and it worked out fine. But she was out of line. She was totally out of line. And so was Chris Wallace. I know you'll defend him, but so was Chris Wallace. He was terrible. It was like 2-on-1, and that was just fine with me. But at least they should admit that it was 2-on-1. And the funny thing is, Biden doesn't even do a show. Biden won't even go on a show. He'd get killed if he ever did the show. He couldn't do Chris's show. But Kristen Welker is terrible. I mean, she is totally partisan. Her father and mother are big supporters of Joe Biden for a long time. They're supporters of the Democrat Party. And she deleted her entire account. And I was the one that told you people about Scully. Scully was no baby either. And then he got caught lying with his famous, they hacked my account. Every time somebody gets caught, they always say they hacked my account. They said, here we go again with the hacking. So he has a problem. But Kristen Welker is far worse than Scully. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. But this is the way it is. It's so set up. It's pretty incredible that we've been winning for so long, isn't it? What you get right down to.
So whatever the plan.
And so you can see there again, Donald Trump refuses to take responsibility. Everything's a conspiracy. 2-on-1, rigged microphones. Chris Wallace and Welker and Guthrie are all Democratic plants. The commission is rigged against him. None of this is true. None of that is true. It is all literally 155% fake. Full stop. Full stop. None of this has been rigged from the debate perspective for Joe Biden. And yet you have Donald Trump say that because he doesn't want to admit that he's lost that first debate. And he doesn't want to admit that the reason the second debate was canceled was because he wouldn't do a digital debate even though he was still positive with COVID-19. And he doesn't want to admit that the reason the Savannah Guthrie town hall went bad was because he looked bonkers through the whole thing, defending conspiracy theories and refusing to condemn conspiracy theories. And also that the reason the Savannah Guthrie thing happened in the first place was because of the previous point where he rejected a digital debate with Joe Biden. Like, that's why all of this is happening. And he's already preemptively saying the next debate is going to be rigged against him too. Basically putting out a scenario where he's priming his shrinking base of supporters to already get ready for a debate loss so they can classify it as a win. This is an act of desperation from Trump. He can't address his own weaknesses to make himself a stronger candidate, even though he's got 3 friends on a couch, basically at Fox and Friends, saying to him, Mr. President, you need to do better. You need to have a different strategy. Things aren't working. Even the Fox News moderator, Chris Wallace, agrees that you largely ruined the first debate with your interrupting. Do better, sir. Conservatives, I'm not a conservative, obviously, but they're counting on you to do better. And Donald Trump doesn't want to listen. This is a man, again, there's 2 weeks left. Literally, it's 2 weeks now. And this is a man that doesn't even really want to win, or doesn't seem like he wants to win anymore.